Hello, I'm Catherine Maley, author of Your Aesthetic Practice, What Your Patients Are Saying. And I'd like to talk to you about mass media marketing. Mass media exposure can, maybe, attract new patients to you if done correctly. It can portray you as an expert and build your name recognition. And that helps to increase your closing ratios because the prospective patient feels more familiar with you. And the new patients may be less price conscious because they're willing to pay extra for expert status, unless you advertised as the cheapest. Another big benefit could be that mass media marketing has you stand out from your competitors. You just want to be sure you stand out in a good way. And it supports your other promotional efforts. For example, an aesthetic patient receives your newsletter, hears about you from her neighbor, and then sees you in print. That could be just what they needed to now feel comfortable enough to book an appointment, or better yet, book a procedure. There are lots of different ways to gain exposure through the various mass marketing media channels, so I'll talk about each one briefly. By the way, all of my tips and strategies come from a decade of testing and trying different things, so here we go. Now, I'm not a big fan of the yellow pages. It's just not where aesthetic patients normally go for information in today's world. I believe your money's much better spent on local internet marketing efforts. About all I would do here is include your name, website, and phone number in the yellow pages so your more mature patient can find you, and then negotiate a free listing on yellowpages.com for your patients who do turn to the internet for information. I'm also not a big fan of radio because the aesthetic world is so visual and because it's so easy to change the station. So you need super good copy to keep someone there long enough to hear your message. So if you're going to use radio, here are some suggestions. Have the radio personality DJ read your ad to their audience. Why is that? Well, because they have a strong audience following who will listen to them. Better yet, make the radio personality a loyal patient of yours so they gush about you on air. And even better yet, work out an agreement with their management that the radio personality reads your ad spots, gushes about you, and all the listeners get an extra perk when they mention they heard the ad. Just know, radio advertising takes a lot of repetition. I believe print is still viable, but just not as popular as it used to be. We all know newspapers are losing readership dramatically thanks to the internet. And magazines are hurting as well. However, I believe they still have life. The secret is to pull your own preferred patients to learn which publications they continue to read. Personally, I have found the local social magazines work best for the aesthetic industry. Now, cable and TV are still the most viable of all media channels I'm discussing here, just due to the sheer volume of people they can reach out to. So even if they too are struggling with audience percentages, the numbers are still bigger than with most media channels. Again, it's going to take repetition and good copy, but if it's done right, you should see results. By the way, these mass marketing channels are much more likely to negotiate with you since they're all hurting for advertising dollars. Top Docs list, this one's a little tricky. Every metropolitan area has an annual Top Docs magazine issue. Although it's paid advertising, the majority of aesthetic patients still see it as credible and they will be impressed. However, that's probably not how you doctors see it. So you have to think about the pros and cons of using Top Docs. And then there's PR. The most credible form of media marketing is PR. But just know, most of the physicians you see on Oprah or the National Evening News got that coverage by spending thousands of dollars per month with top PR agencies who have those media connections needed to get on those programs. I would suggest another approach as well, and that's to go local and do it yourself. First, talk to your own patients and let them know you're interested in media coverage, and you'll be surprised to learn their sister is a TV station manager or their girlfriend's married to the newscaster on the 6 o'clock news. Then you want to send the media your own media kit that consists of your photo, your credentials, other speaking engagements, papers you've written, a list of topics you know well, and include several before-after photos. Then follow up periodically. The secret to do-it-yourself PR is to feed the local media topics their audience would be interested in, so you become their go-to resource for aesthetic enhancement topics. PR takes time, effort, and persistence, but it can really pay off. But before you go off on a major media marketing campaign, I suggest knowing exactly who your target market is or who you want it to be in terms of gender, ethnicity, etc. And then be where they are, which means be seen in the publications they read, be heard on the radio stations they listen to, and be interviewed on the TV stations they watch. It's also important to have the right message. And the right message is always the one that answers, what's in it for me being the patient. So you need a strong headline that grabs the attention of your audience. And you need as many benefits as possible to keep your audience interested. You also need a call to action, such as call for our free report or come to our seminar. And add a sense of urgency with a tight expiration date so they respond now rather than wait and forget to respond at all. Personally, I would use mass media marketing only to announce something, like a new procedure you offer, your grand opening, or your anniversary. Use it to educate the public about what's new in the world of aesthetic enhancement. The point here is nobody wants to be sold, but your patients definitely want to know what's new in the world of looking good. And invite the public to your events. It's a no-pressure way for them to get to know you better. The bottom line is this: to get good results from media marketing in today's fragmented world, it's more about a multi-step relationship-building approach than a one-time offer. Marketing results vary so much and are dependent on so many variables, such as your message, your target market, your media marketing channel, and so on. You could hit a home run, a double, or you could strike out. You just can't guarantee which message will work that time for that target market, because not every message works for everybody. That's why it's so important to track your results. You need quantifiable data to determine what's working, how well is it working, and if it's at least breaking even.